By far one of the best superhero video games ever made, right next to the Arkham series by Batman by Rocksteady. This time Insomniac Games made Spider-Man exclusive to the PlayStation 4. What an amazing experience and game. If you have not tried that game already, you are missing out by a lot. I mean, that game was just gorgeous. Great game. Anyways, we have a figure, an SH Figuarts figure of that video game Spider-Man. That's how big the game was. It's getting figures from almost everywhere. Hasbro already made a Marvel Legend GameStop exclusive one, which to me wasn't the greatest. It was okay. This, on the other hand, looks to be the definitive version, if you don't count the Hot Toys one, because Hot Toys as well wanted to get a piece of the pie too, and they went ahead and released some of these Spider-Man video game characters too. Let's see how far Bandai Tamashii goes with this line. Are they going to do other suits? Maybe, maybe not. I guess it depends on the success of this figure, and so far it seems to be successful, just judging off of the sold out pre-orders. Anyways, here is the front of the box. I do like the package art. We have an in-game cutscene or image of Spider-Man swinging here. The Marvel Spider-Man right there on the top right corner. There's a sticker in Japanese. It just reads, "Subscribe to eRivera94 now." On the side, we have another in-game image of the Spider-Man on the other side as well. Really cool packaging. And on the back side, we get some poses of the figure and images of what he comes with. So we're going to check that out right now. Let's get him open. Alright, and here we have it. And I can say this thing looks phenomenal in hand. Right out of the package, he looks good. He feels good. Quality looks pretty darn good. It comes with plenty of hands. We have a stand, we have some webs, and some gadgets too. Also an alternate head, so he comes packed in very well. Let's go through it all. As you see, this is how he comes out of the box. So he has a pair of fists on the figure, and you see the head sculpt. The eyes is what we're going to be looking at, obviously, because he doesn't come with an unmasked head, but the eyes are just the normal, I guess, sized eyes. They're not, open or closed or anything of that nature. So that's how he comes packed in. So we will get a pair of open hands. Of course, a pair of web slinging hands. We have a pretty calm set of hands here, like if he's just standing without clenching up or making a fist. It's just natural, normal, open hand. We have somewhat of a open slash halfway closing hand, if that's how you want to call it, but you see here. And then lastly, we have a hand where you can fit a web inside so he can web swing around the city. Or you can use this as a thumbs up, it's got two uses. So this is indeed the normal head that came with the figure. Now here is the alternate head. So you see the difference there. The eyes are a little bit more open. And it just looks so good. It makes it more like comic-y looking. That's not a word. But it reminds me of a comic style Spider-Man. I just like the eyes being a little bit more open like that. So that looks cool. That's his alternate head. So there's only two heads. But this head actually does not change eyes. This one's all the same. It's molded. You can't remove it. But with this head, you can remove the eyes. And you can have alternate eyes. So we get some more eyes here where the, they're a bit more closed down. You can get some expressions going. Similar to the way they do it in the MCU. So that's cool. And in case you guys were wondering, here's the neck peg. Very weird that they went this route. Don't know why. But that's how it is. So you see the hinge there, you will see those little circles on the side due to that hinge. And then of course the actual peg is a weird looking peg, but there it is. We do get a spider drone, which looks good. If you played the game, you will know what this is. He uses it, or it's a gadget. He's got tons of gadgets in the game. This is only a fraction of it. We get some web bombs, 2 of them to be exact. This is going to be a challenge to show off, but here's the web. So we have one long web like that with a little like hook on the end. Then we have a, I was going to say a shorter web, but it's not really short. It's about the same length. But this one does not have a hook on the end here. Then we have an even shorter web shooting hand, or not hand, sorry, web itself. But you see the loop there that goes on his wrist peg. So he's shooting the web out of his wrist, and then we have an even shorter one. So this is very similar to the MCU Spider-Man webs. I think it's the same, to be honest. They just painted it white. And then this is a new piece. I don't recall seeing this on any of the MCU ones, but I could be wrong. this is supposed to be the tail end of the web. So if you're making him swing around, this is the part that goes on his hand, wrapped around his hand, and this is like the end of the web, if that makes sense. Here you go, they actually show it on the box. So you see he's got the web, and then you hook that little end piece here, so it's the end of the web right there. So it just doesn't look like it's coming out of his hand and there's nothing after it. That's what that's for. You can't release a Spider-Man figure without a cell phone. Come on now. So we get the same cell phone that the MCU Spidey Figuarts came with. We get a peg hole for his back, so that means he does have a peg on his back. Right now he's got the cover piece, so it doesn't look like it's there, even though you can clearly tell it's there, but this is just to peg the stand on him. And the stand is, well, this is the base actually. So the base is a red translucent plastic, if we can get it to focus, and it's got the Spider-Man logo from the game in there, so that's cool. And the stand is very different than what we're used to seeing. This is very weird. 3 pieces here, it doesn't articulate or bend, so I guess you just connect them to each other, and they're very, very tight to connect. So now you have just a straight stand. I don't know why they went this route, but they did. And then lastly, it looks like we get a magnet. So this you can peg in onto his back and possibly just attach him to a refrigerator or something magnetic, and have some fun with him. I can't forget the little clear tool piece to take out his eyes and change him out. Alright guys, and here we have him. And like I mentioned before, he looks great. You can see the overall sculpt came out very, very nice. They sculpted the web lines, and they shaded it or painted it. And then the suit down here, we got the bottom of the shoes painted very nice, or boots, or costume feet, whatever you call that. There's the back logo. We got the nice Spidey thong on right there. Due to the groin articulation that they do on these figures, it looks kind of weird right there with that cut. But yeah, there it is. Let's run through the articulation now that we looked at him up close. We can check him out. So left and right on the head, he will look up about that high, popped out a little bit, but there you go. And then down on that hinge, about that much. So the neck piece is probably the only weird thing about it. If you can get, you know, past that little peg circle on the sides, then it's all right. The neck also articulates too, so it goes around, goes forward and back, tilts a little bit. The arms are going to go forward. They look very similar to the previous MCU SH Figuarts Spideys. So that goes forward and back. In and out, we have this butterfly joint shoulder socket combo right there. It looks very fragile though, to be honest. I feel like that could snap. And then trying to get it to go in and out is actually kind of hard. It actually gets limited a little bit there. You can't really get it up. If you want to raise his arm higher, then I guess you gotta rotate it. But it's very stiff. At least my right arm is very stiff right there. As for a bicep swivel, not really, but I guess there's a shoulder swivel if that counts. Double jointed elbow, swivel at the wrist with a hinge at the wrist. There's a diaphragm joint that swivels, goes forward and back. It's on a ball joint. Pretty good range. There's a waist swivel that's actually really tight on mine. Goes forward and back. You see it kind of gaps open on the back there. Then the leg will kick forward about that far, in and out. Pretty much does a split. Does a thigh swivel, double jointed knees. There's a hinge at the ankle, a pivot, and there's a toe hinge at the foot. So in terms of a Spidey figure, I think he's pretty flexible. I think he does have more range than any Legends Spider-Man, that's for sure. So it's not too bad. Definitely has a little bit more range than what a Mezco Spider-Man has too. So overall, I think it's pretty good. Next to maybe the Mafex one that came out, I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna have to compare him next to that one. But it's actually not too bad, to be honest. I don't know. For me, I'm alright. I know there's some Spidey junkies out there that, you know, need a crazy articulated Spidey, which it's understandable, but I think he's pretty flexible. Not a great pose. The head actually kind of annoys me sometimes. I wish it was just a ball joint or something, but it still works. I don't know. I'm just trying to get some weird poses where I can flex him out as far as possible, but he's pretty flexible. I would say the only thing that bothers me the most, probably not even the neck, is the shoulders. And I know it's the same as before from what I recall, but maybe they would put a bicep cut there because it gets very, very hindered. I can't move the arm farther than this back here, which I feel like Spider-Man should be able to move more. I know he's got this entire socket. He's got that butterfly joint, but this shoulder is just too thick for that little socket there, so it doesn't move. outward too much. I feel like I'm gonna snap this thing any second now if I go any higher. Like, I don't know, man. Look, he can't get it higher than that. Like, unless I'm doing something horribly wrong right now, I can't get his arms up higher. I can play with this thing and I can get it higher like this if I rotate it and get it like this, but then his arm's backwards. You know, obviously it's backwards right now, but if I want it this way, it's just not gonna go high enough. Like, I don't know, man. Yeah, so it's very hindered or limited when it comes to the shoulders and the arms, which is kind of weird. Alright, so we got the Mayfix Spidey on the left side there, very nice. And then we have, of course, the Game Reverse PS4 Spidey in the middle. And then here is the SH Figuarts. This is the Homecoming Spider-Man figure on the right side. So this is Mayfix, just to clarify. And then these two are SH Figuarts on the right side. So pretty much from large to small here, Mayfix stands taller, and he's actually hunched a little bit too. Then we have Figuarts PS4 standing taller than the MCU Homecoming Spider-Man there. But looking at this Spidey, again, you know, I forgot about it, but yeah, it has the same issue with that shoulder not going up. So yeah, that sucks. It's very similar. That's why it looks so familiar. The whole entire shoulder socket system is the same for this. It even has the same Spidey thong on the back right there. Alright, now we got more SH Figuarts Spider-Mans. We have the Iron Spider from Infinity War also. And then we have the Homecoming homemade suit Spider-Man there. They seem to stack up the same height, these two over here, but PS4 Spidey seems taller than those two. Let's show Marvel Legends some love here. We have the Pizza Spider-Man on the left side, very tall. And then we have the kind of teenager Peter Parker Spider-Man on the right side. That was from the Space Venom wave, so he's the shortest one there. Mezco's next up to bat, and we have the Homecoming Spider-Man homemade suit and the tech suit. Mezco 112 Collector, they do stand taller than the PS4 SH Figuarts. And now we have the Marvel Legends PS4 Spider-Man figure, GameStop exclusive. And you're going to see why I didn't really like this figure too much. Look at the difference here. Yeah, the size, of course, yeah. Let's get that out the way first. Marvel Legends always scale more taller than SH Figuarts, so yeah, the scale is not going to be. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the look. This was Hasbro's just poor attempt in making the PS4 Spidey, in my opinion. They just took the Spider-Man UK, I think, head and just used that and put it on this, you know, on this body. And yeah, the logo came out good, but the overall, I don't know, it just didn't get executed very well in my opinion. But you can clearly see the difference here in terms of the look. I think the biggest issue of this is just the head sculpt. The body would have been fine, but the head sculpt is what throws it off for me. But yeah, here's your comparison between the two. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for the review of the SH Figuarts PlayStation 4 Spider-Man video game action figure by Bandai Tamashii Nations. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Leave the like, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think, and as always, have a great day. Bye.